Yes.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to another Smoke Signal. This stream we're going to be talking more about some news that we have for Exit 665 and I Want to Hug That Gator, our two upcoming games.
Hello,
Uh,
hello.
we have a few less people with us here today. Right now it is just me and two others. I will introduce myself real fast. I'm Nerd. I am the lead developer at Cavemanon.
I'm Sly, lead writer of Cavemanon.
And I'm Mono, the lead artist of I Want to Hug That Gator.
Additionally, we have the person that is handling the stream right now. So first, we should get into the news that we have for Wani. Then we'll get into Exit, and then we'll take some questions, and that should be uh, the same general structure as we've been having for these last few ones. So the first, we actually have a bit of extra news regarding Wani and regarding the streams as well. So when we first announced the game, we had written down that we're low volume. Hang on. A person streaming. There's some audio issues. Can you fix it? Yeah, there's audio issues. Okay, we're gonna pause for a couple seconds. Pardon us. All right, sorry about that. We had a bit of a technical issue regarding the audio. As I was saying, and I'll just recap one more time since there was a bit of a few minutes, we have some news regarding Wani and these streams, and a few plans that we have for the future. Then we'll get into a bit of news regarding Exit, and then we'll take a few questions near the end. So first and foremost, regarding Wani, when we first announced the game back during the Video Game Awards, and we put up the Steam page, we had written down, and this was by our own estimate, that the game would be out in Q4 2022. The game we're making excellent progress. We're getting something new done every single day. Although it is going a bit slower than we had originally thought. That was an estimate that we first had, and it is looking increasingly like we are not going to be able to reach that tight deadline. It may have to give ourselves a few extra months in order to finish it. As is, we're still making excellent progress. We're still getting things done incredibly quickly. And it's probably not going to be too long after the New Year's, but we're rather likely to not be able to reach that deadline. Additionally, yeah, it's just how it is. Additionally, regarding these streams, we have been toying with, and we're going to try from this point. We're going to try this at least once, and if it doesn't work out, we can go back to this. using newsletters to condense information and being able to put it out. These streams are excellent in being able to connect with their own audience and get information out through that way. Although it's not the most, watching a VOD isn't the most quick and user-friendly way to get information out about the game that we are intending on getting out. So we're going to start trying to put together these curated newsletters to go out every so often about a specific subject rather than simply talking about, oh, here's the updates on Exit and here's the updates on Wani. Subjects such as, oh, here's what we're doing in terms of the art direction, here's what we're doing in terms of music, and here's a few samples. The list goes on. So with that in mind, that today is going to be the last smoke signal stream for a while. And with that in mind, we can go ahead and get into the news for the day regarding Wani. Please look forward to the newsletters that we're going to be putting out. We're going to look into how to possibly get email listings and such as well to go with it.
Right. So, with that said, on to a little bit of Wani news. Mono thankfully has the screenshot of the teachers that I wanted to talk about today, which is a little bit of a lighter subject, a little bit smaller. We've said before that the faculty of the school is going to be playing a bit more of the role in the story of Wani. Like Yadakon especially and Scalar have more depth within the story that are going to be reflected onto the main characters of Wani, Olivia, and Inko. So just wanted to have something nice to present to you. Show the faculty lounge, how like they would interact with one another. Yadakon being probably the oldest person in the room there.
Would you mind reading off who is who in this image so people are aware of may not be completely familiar with the cast?
Yes, you're right. So from left to right, we have Principal Scalar, Mr. Yadakon, Miss Procleen, and Coach Solly. Again, personally, I enjoy working with Yadakon the most when it comes to writing, but like all these characters will be playing some role in the story of Wani.
This is in contrast to the minor characters and the teacher characters in Snoot Game, which certain people like Fernsworth, it only showed up a couple times. In the case of what was his name, Mr. Jin? He showed up one time in the main game and then one time in the extra scenes and completely forgot about otherwise.
Yeah, no, the faculty will be showing up a lot more and be playing an active role within the story with interacting and teaching our student characters. Does a good strafe jump.
What was the leftmost name? That's Principal Scalar.
Yeah. Let's see, what can I really say about each one of them? Well, we did talk about Scale or Eoticon the most in one of the previous streams, but Scalar would be the second most important faculty member to bring up regarding the story. Her acting as a different sort of mentor when it comes to the school and the students. She will be probably interacting the most with Olivia throughout the story.
Mono, would you like to? Do you have any thoughts regarding these characters since you helped design them?
Yeah, so on top of Principal Scalar, so this is her. She's still relatively green when it comes to being a principal. And ultimately, her age, her young age, I should mention, relatively young age, uh, she's not quite ready for this sort of role. So you should expect to see some very extreme reactions from her, very
Very
outlandish reactions. I'm sure you've met some people who have prematurely aged in their life at least once or twice, and this is a reflection of that kind of character.
All right, we have anything else to talk about regarding Wani?
mm,
Progress is still going smoothly. We're still going through. One thing I want to mention, actually, in terms of writing, there's something I've been thinking about for a while now, and this doesn't just for Wani. This goes for other stuff that I've written before. I went for Snoot Game. It's going for Exit. It's going for Wani. List goes on. When writing stuff, and I guess this is only tangentially related. This is more of an observation of mine, but it is also a bit of what to do with why progress is. I say progress is going great, but it's a bit slow. So we're writing along, and then as we go along, like we have a story outline, and we bridge this out, and we extend this and elaborate on it. And as that goes along, we're able to think through concepts that are able to connect to previous concepts and are able to cause, for lack of a better term, a butterfly effect, where we end up saying, "Oh, hey, it'd be cool if for this scene we had these characters behave this way, but for this to work, we need to be able to foreshadow it beforehand to set it up beforehand." And then for that to work, we need to set up something different beforehand to set up the conditions for the second scene to set up the conditions for the third. This creates events such. This is why at some places in Snoot Game we did this too, where minuscule incidents happen or thoughts happen near the beginning of the game that end up affecting things in a chain reaction, leading towards the different endings. And this is to say, this is what we've been working on largely the last couple of weeks. We've thought of a few really good ones to be inserting. And as mentioned, this happens with all the projects so far between all the major ones, between Exit, Wani, and Snoot Game.
yeah. Yeah, our writing process has certainly evolved over time since we first started this, to the point that whenever we're going back, we're actually considering how how much more in depth and how much we can expand on certain ideas that we end up thinking of on the spot. Like it helps really liven up the story and creates a much more fluid narrative. So as a person's reading it, it feel like the story feels more alive as compared to like just having a very strictly structured story.
All right, we have anything else for Wani, or can we get started on Exit news?
I believe we can move on to Exit. Do you have anything else, Mono?
No, we can start moving on.
All right, let's move on ahead. For Exit, we have a bit of news regarding the way the overworld is going to be handled. Go right ahead. Okay, so for the overworld, this is something we've been playing with for a while. There's going to be a lot of these assets. Possibly more effort is going to be put into the backgrounds and the rest of the games, simply due to sheer size. And then you're throwing together things like animation and whatnot. And then there's level design. Then there's variations on weather, and the list goes on. I need to stop saying that. The What we see here, this is just the finished concept that we have for the main character's room. This is actually a bit different from what we had posted to our Twitter the other day, uh, where we have now gone through and added a bit more depth to things. Taken a bit of extra time to add in a bit of extra detail to really pull it together. Since this is the main character's room and house, we Uh, it absolutely needs to be the highest amount of quality that it can, but without being Naturally, if something is really high quality, the rest needs to be of a similar quality, or there's a very noticeable change once you leave the areas that we clearly want you to care about. Uh, Additionally, I've taken the opportunity to test out or to set it up in a way that, because now that we are using Godot, we're able to use things like shaders, and this is just a recreation of using only a few layers of what the game is going to look like in engine using the shaders that we want. Uh, we have a few other ones of different rooms of the house and with at different times of the day as well to test more of this out. If we can move on to the next one. Okay. And then this would be the living room, which has a whoa. Just a moment. Okay, this would be the living room. We're having more of these details show up. Having lights show up from off screen. There's actually a decision made here. The room that you can see part of on the left was originally going to be uh, conjoined as one long room, but we decided that for the sake of making the place feel smaller, of framing it a certain way so that it feels smaller, to separate it off into two different rooms, separated by, or to one room but still separated by two different screens in a screen transition in the middle. So you can go to the next one. Okay, this would be the kitchen area where they're going to be, having food and whatnot. Uh, so just adding extra details around the house, making things work. And you can just flip to the last one. You can just as well. So just keeping things realistic, keeping it clean, easy to look at, and quick enough to do that we aren't going to get hung up for longer than, say, a day on any one given room. Uh-huh. So with that in mind, we're going to start being able to put together the overworld a lot quicker, and that would be have completely figured out exactly how this is going to work. It's just a matter of actually getting it done. We've recently cleared or we're extremely close to clearing a milestone regarding the character sprites, and we're all now able to put a lot more attention on this. All right, that's all I have for the backgrounds, mono. Regarding everything else, we're still writing a bit. As mentioned, we keep on going through a period where we're almost done, and then we just take another look at it from a different angle and say, hang on, we could improve this, that, and the other if we do a few things. Right now, the big focus is on NPC dialogue and how the world can be explored through that way, through different ways that we would be interacting with people that are not as familiar with the main struggle of the main cast. And a few other details which we're going to be speaking more on later down the line, or perhaps when we release and people can see for themselves. We're also going to we have gotten an idea recently, and we're not going to be using this yet. This is going to be further down the line when we're closer to release. We've gotten some ideas on how to go about a second round of advertising, a second round of making stuff to promote the game in a tone that is more accurate to it. The way that we promoted it thus far is rather similar to, because we had just come off of making a Snoot game that's kind of that is all that we have had experience as a group working on, and I think that that has somewhat affected the way that we had advertised making the game seem and that it was going to be a lot closer to what Snoot game was, as opposed to something that has more of its identity, if that makes sense. So I have an idea on how to do that. We're marking down excellent ideas, and we're going to be doing that further down the line. I do look forward to it. I know it's a bit weird talking about the plans that we have for advertising of all things, but I do think it's worth mentioning at least for a little bit. Sly, do you have any comments?
feel feel a little bit like explaining like how we want to get more like draw more attention to like the setting of exit and how important that is when it comes to the advertising would help.
We can explain that later.
All right. But I believe we can move on to taking some questions because I see a couple of them already.
All right, excellent. We have some time for questions. Yes. What do we have?
Well, for one thing, does the fish in the kitchen sing?
Yeah, it does.
Of course it would. Okay, there was another question. When did we switch to Godot? I believe
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah.
we did switch to Godot at the beginning of summer, as I
Something
recall.
like that. Is that right person streaming? All right, close enough. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's telling us to pronounce it properly. It's telling us to pronounce it Gudut. Apparently, that's the original pronunciation as intended by developers.
Also, okay, any progress on the music?
It's going. We have a list of stuff that we're working on. The musicians are fantastic, but do keep in mind that they are working on both Exit and Wani at the same time, as well as their own personal stuff. They're absolute champions for keeping keeping up the hard work, for trying this out, for working as hard as they have, and putting out such high quality tracks every time as well.
Oh, absolutely. Plus, there's like they're asking for feedback on a lot of material that they're testing out for both games as well as their own projects, and every time like they create something fantastic that we want to use, but it's all like, no, it's not ready yet. This isn't perfect. They're bloody perfectionists. Love them for it, but holy shit, they work their asses off when it comes to each and every song.
Released any sheet music for some of the Snoot soundtracks, or are they more personal about that? The main musician for Snoot game did not use any sheet music. He did it all from uh, his own mind. I believe that was actually relatively early on.
Anything else?
All right, so yeah, do we have any extra questions regarding Exit or Wani? I have a question regarding Wani's setting. Is Enko being human going to be similarly unique, comparable to Anon's situation in Snook game? Is he going to be looked at as some special curiosity, or does Wani feature a school where humans are more prominent? Well, it is something that would be discussed if it were in or not, or how we go about it within the first few minutes of the game. I'm still wondering if it's worth talking about. I'll say this: we're taking as much effort as we can to uh, just keep ourselves from retreading old ground. Obviously, there is significance to Inko being a human, and we go about it in a different way, and that's about then what we found in just Snoot game, and that is about all that I will say on that subject.
Really good. Oh yeah. Let's see. What other questions do we currently have? Do.
Right. So, Mono, what are you drawing there?
This is the cast of Wani
Mm-hmm.
as the Farscape cast.
What's that?
It's a sci-fi from the early 2000s.
Oh, dang. I'm too young.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah, me. That's me.
Oh man. Which one is? I mean, that should be pretty obvious. She already has wheels, so. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist that joke.
True.
Uh, yeah.
I feel like there is something I'm forgetting that I should be mentioning now that we're here. Something else regarding either Exit or Wani that would be interesting to let people know. Well, I guess one thing I can talk about. Any updates on the Doom game? Actually, that is something what I was about to get into. Any updates on the Doom game? Right. So the Vignet games that we've made so far, that being She's a Bit Sluggish, She Likes You a Lotl, and A Star in Her Eyes. We've all put in great amounts of effort into them whenever we've reached a significant uh, goal with milestone in the development of the Exit demo. Uh, Something that we've noticed so far is, in retrospect, in regards to what we've made, the uh, the way that these games are presented, it come through a combination of how little time we get and how little conflict we're able to have to show off both of the characters' personality, isn't actually able to convey as meaningful a story as what would be warranted by being allowed uh, more time in a longer more scenarios rather than just the one where the objective is simply to go on a date and have it go well. So, with that in mind, we're seriously considering taking a longer time when it comes to Doom Game, maybe working on it more passively instead of all at once, and having that one be a bit longer and seeing if that is able to yield better results. And then after Doom, of course, we still have Tulip, which is our the shopkeeper that we've shown off, and after that, we should, but definitely by then have the exit demo ready. And after that, we may look into doing more. Maybe not. We'll see.
Let's see.
2023 release for both games. There's Q4 still the goal. As mentioned near the start of the stream, we are unsure if we are able to meet the goal of Q4 2022. It's going to be it's going to be close. If there's a miracle and we're able to work as fast as we can all at once, then we might still be able to release before New Year's this year. But it's looking increasingly likely that we're going to go a bit over.
As for the Wani cast, like artistically or personality wise, we have updated Eoticon's like design a lot. All the designs have been like going through various updates, but definitely Eoticon the most has underwent like the most drastic of design updates.
I think by since last time you mentioned the last stream.
Oh yeah. I know about since the last stream. It's only been a
Yeah, no,
month.
I don't think so. Well, naturally, with as we write along, characters' personalities are refined more. So, insofar as that goes, then yeah, I guess you could say that they have, but nothing like significant in terms of what we are absolutely aiming for, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're rounding up on about 40 minutes. We can take a couple more questions, and then we'll start signing off. Uh, after last stream, we a few days later we went ahead and we watched the first couple episodes of We Are OFK. Very intentionally said that we didn't play that. And the rest has come out recently. The last three episodes. So we may go ahead and stream the last three and see how it finishes up sometime in the future. We'll see. As mentioned while we were playing, it was incredibly boring though, and I'm seriously considering if it would even be worth it, just given the sheer amount of time it would be. It'd be like 3 hours for
Yeah, no,
what
'cause-
exactly?
yeah, no. Each episode is like an hour long, and there's like to be a little bit critical of it. They don't really use their time well. per hour.
Also known as We Are AFK because that's what the player does. True. I was thinking about doing a gag where I got up and got a family member to play a little bit while I go down the street to get something from the gas station or something. It'd be funny. I did that once when playing Life is Strange. I got up and went to do something down the road, came back, and the guy still wasn't even to the title call for the episode. Anyway, wondering if the upside descriptions are finalists or if they'll end up getting changed again. We may or may not. It depends on if we feel that it would be necessary to uh, the perception of the game for new people. If changing them to be more accurate or not will actually, or if we're refining them to be more accurate, we're actually encourage someone more or less to consider picking the game up.
Also, should definitely say where we're going to be posting those newsletters, which would be not only the Twitter account, but also we just created a new grounds account.
True. We can post them to a number of places. Obviously, we have our own websites. I want to hug that gator and exit665.xyz. Additionally, we do have the new grounds, and we can cross post as much as we need to. Post them to Twitter. Post them anywhere we want. We also have a dang, I forget what those things are called. Hey, person streaming. What are the? Yeah, no, we also have an RSS feed. Thank you. Set up, and we may take advantage of that as well. All right, if that is all for that everybody has, then I'm going to wrap up real fast with a quick recap of what was discussed today. We are likely to. We're trying as hard as we can. But in the interest of making the best product that we can, we may not be able to finish the game within the constraint that we put on ourselves to finish within the year. We might be going a bit over, whether it be a few weeks or months or days. And we're going to be attempting newsletters, putting together specialized topics worth of, or putting together a quick letter with a specialized topic on either or both of the games. We talked a bit about the Wani and the teachers that will have an elevated role within. A bit about the way the exit overworld is going to be drawn, interacted with, and rendered in engine. Okay. About the newsletter, saying about at another company's track record with updating them, how often would you try to update your newsletter? We're not going to hold ourselves to any specific updates. We'll try to keep it up, come up with a subject as soon as we're done with the last one. So we'll come up with one as soon as we can and then put it together. But we're not going to be like, oh, hang on, it's this time it's this time we should put one out and get one out as soon as we can. It'll be out when there's news, I guess is the best way to say.
Yeah. What dinos are Scalar and Procling? I know for a fact that Scalar is an Oviraptor. I'm trying to remember what Miss Procline is. I think she's supposed to be not a Parasophil. Oh my god, what's the name of it? It's like God. I'm on a little bit of help here.
Hold on a second, I got it right here.
We'll get back to you on what Proclane is. I swear to God, I had the name somewhere written down.
Yeah, the names are hard. All right, if that will be all, then we should start signing off. Thank you everybody for showing up. This has been Nerd. Once again, I'm the lead developer at Cavemanon.
I'm Sly, the lead writer. It was good to talk with you all.
And I'm Mono, the lead artist of I Want to Hug That Gator. Thanks for dropping by, guys.
All right, see you guys when we see you. Count us down, person streaming. All right, bye bye.
Later.